Thank you, Yoni. I'm sitting here in the heart of Yerushalayim with the very famous Nachman Solomon of the Solomon brothers, one of the lead singers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So you started singing when you were really young. You come from a musical family.
Yeah. I don't remember not singing, basically, So, yeah, I've even been on my dad's CDs from age 5 or 4. So
you were singing.
Yeah, singing on his Breslov albums. And as well, also. I don't know if you've heard of Mickey Moshe Shur. He's also a talented songwriter. He wrote anyways, he recorded a couple of albums by my dad, and I sang on his albums as well when I must have been 4 years old.
So we should mention that your dad is Sruli Solomon from the Diaspora band.
Yes.
And you have a lot of brothers.
Yeah, we're 7 brothers and 1 sister.
Yeah. And 1 sister.
And 1 sister.
Does she sing also?
At the Shabbos table.
So we should that's a future question, but we could ask it now. So all brothers everybody's musical. Your father?
Yeah, everybody is musical. Some of the more frum brothers have kind of gave up music for just studying Torah all day.
Okay.
But they definitely are very musical, and even my brother Meir, who used to be in Moshav band, used to be the lead guitarist, and very, very talented, became very, very frum now, so he sings on Shabbos. But
so when you all get together on Shabbos and you're sitting around the Shabbat table, is there a specific zemer or nigun that
there was. We haven't gotten together for Shabbos in years because it's such a big family and everybody has their own families.
Right.
So
growing up
doesn't happen so often. But yeah, growing up we would all have our harmonies exactly. We would sing Breslov songs usually at the Shabbos table. There was a feature one for every meal, so there was a Zamer Bishvachin for the night and a Sader Sudata for the day, and Askinu Sudata for the third meal, and they were all my favorites.
So Breslov is your inspiration? Is there a specific artist that you feel
I don't know.
Truly inspired by?
Breslov is part of my childhood.
Right.
I don't know if it's my inspiration.
Okay.
I love Rabbi Nachman. Wouldn't consider myself a Breslover per se, but definitely influenced because we grew up on him and Rabbi Karlibach as well, Shalom Karlibach, and then my parents are Baalei Tshuva, and they didn't cut out necessarily old stuff that they used to listen to, like Bob Dylan, Simon and Garfunkel,
right,
James Taylor. So
how do you think the youth of today that have a massive range of music influencing their lives, how do you think your music is helping keep them in the realm of Jewish music?
Well, our music is not always psukim or from anything that has to do with the Torah or whatever, but we grew up on that, and it's definitely what we breathe and eat. So anything we write is spiritually elevating and influenced, and so we try and instead of someone going and listening to Megadeth or something, they'll listen to the Solomon Brothers, and it's still
and it gets them
it will do that job of getting out of the schmaltzy Jewish world, but still staying in the cool kosher world, I guess.
Okay, so let's talk about just back to your childhood with all your siblings. Is there a favorite childhood memory that you could think of? Music related, not music related?
With the family specifically?
Yeah, or not childhood.
When we were young, our father formed a band with us called Ben Sion Solomon and Sons.
Yeah.
And so I think, after all the painful learning crazy harmonies, because my father always gave us the craziest harmonies and tears sitting down trying to learn them. And
oh no!
But when we actually would sit down for a rehearsal and like we had the harmonies tight and all the brothers are sitting there.
And it came together.
And seeing also my mother shepping a lot of nachas sitting there. And those were definitely like highlights.
Wow. So what year did you form the Solomon Brothers, or how did it come to be?
So I was playing actually in a band called Hamakor.
Okay.
I did that for about 8 or 9 years. Right after I finished high school, pretty much, we did a bunch of touring. We were signed by an Israeli record label right away, and we had some success. But what happened is some of the band members had to go into the army, and band members switched, and then it just kind of became the Nachman Solomon show. And I wasn't, even though I am a front man, it's not.
You like having.
I like having. Being a band and being part of a thing, and not that everybody else is just kind of backup musicians. Right. And so that was kind of I was struggling with that, and then I got an email from Teddy Productions, which are responsible for shows like Kochav Nolad, or in the American Idol, what you would call American Idol. And they were doing this new show called The Musical Family of Israel.
Okay.
And so
so that was your opening.
So I messaged my brothers, and they were into it, and we went in for an audition.
How many years ago was this?
This was about 2.5 years ago.
So recent.
Yeah, very recent.
Yeah.
And we made it in, and then we passed another stage, and we made it all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
And after the show was over, we decided, this is the most natural way to go. And so I kind of dropped Hamakor completely, and we formed the Solomon Brothers, and thank God ever since we've been
filling up all your audiences.
very successful. We just put out an album the end of last year.
Yeah.
And and we've been touring, we've been all over, and it's been a great journey. We ended up doing another reality TV show called The Voice.
Yeah, so tell us, can you give us a little bit of behind the scenes?
It was very different than the first TV show we did. This, musical family. The musical family, in the way it was. First of all, it was the other TV show was kind of like the music channel of Israel, where this was the prime time TV on Channel 2, which is like the main channel in Israel.
Yeah.
So you're talking about millions of people watching you every time, and the pressure is on, and you're spending, days on days, and they're makeup artists and stylists, and
I want to ask you what it was like to wear makeup.
We got used to it already. I mean, we've been on ever since the first TV show. We've been on TV interviews a lot and radio, so you have to prepare. Now I always ask them first if I could not do makeup, because it is pretty annoying, and I'm not a big fan. How
does you being on The Voice now help with like all these future performances that you've been on? It gives you like an immediate opening.
So being on The Voice exposed us. I didn't even realize how much to the Israeli audience. I mean, when it first came out, everyone was recognizing us on the street.
Yeah.
Now less, but what I do, when we do play shows, everybody says, "Oh, those are the Solomon Brothers from The Voice." And then when trying to get on for PR reasons, trying to get onto different radio stations or interviews on TV, it definitely helps a lot.
Yeah. Well, I know how much I enjoy coming to your performances. So you added some more, different vibes into your concert, like some Spanish, some reggae.
Yeah, we try. I mean, even though we're brothers and we grew up on similar music, actually our tastes are a little bit different. Meaning, like, I think I grew up more on, like, I was very influenced by bands in the non-Jewish world, like Pearl Jam, or audio slave. I mean, like more like rock bands. Whereas my brother Yosef was very influenced by reggae, and my brother Sruli bluegrass. So we try and just combine that all
Mash
into
it together,
and
meld it
mash
together.
it together. Somehow
Yeah.
it works. So yeah, so we do some reggae, and recently when we were on tour in Mexico, actually, we went out to see the mariachis play.
Yeah.
And there was my brother Yosef, who plays the bass. He traveled South America for half a year, so he picked up Spanish, and so
That was really an amazing song. What can you think of your favorite place to perform, or what's the coolest place you've traveled to perform?
definitely, I think Mexico and South Africa are definitely the coolest places. But everywhere we go I mean, I love going to the U.S. as well, and Canada. And London was really cool, but first we definitely have a warm place in our heart for South Africa, specifically. The crowd there really likes us, and I just love the country as a country as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have future like summer tour plans, or?
We're possibly going to London in early July for a couple of shows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. So when you hear the word journey, what comes to mind?
So what comes to mind is our song Life, which goes, life is a journey, you live to love, you love to live. And it was written in South Africa, and we were, it was our first time there, and just driving up to Kruger National Park, which is the safari, and with all the views and seeing like the villages and the people over there, just kind of inspired me to write this song about, you know, how lucky we are to be on this journey. And yeah, so that's what comes to mind when I think of journey.
Okay, so you're 8 kids in the family, and I'm sure you have a lot of nieces and nephews.
Yes.
Is there a next generation for singers in the Solomon family?
I mean, they're too young to know if they're gonna actually do it as a career, but yes, definitely some of the kids have great voices. And actually on the last festival on the Moshav, my brother Sruli called up his son Elisha, who sang a song with us and with my father. So
Nice.
Definitely we had 3 generations up there.
You lived in Israel your whole life?
I grew up. Yeah, I lived here my whole life. I never lived anywhere else.
Okay, so when you think of Israel, and you travel a lot,
Yeah.
can you think of a place that you could call your Israel happy place? Makes you the happiest to be in?
The Moshav, going back to the Moshav, to the forest in the Moshav. You know, it's like childhood memories and just nature, and that for me is it's like a peaceful place.
Yeah. Okay, so I wish you continued success in all
Thank
of
you
your
so much.
singing.
Thank you.
Thanks for sitting down with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
I'm looking forward to future concerts I'll bring my kids to.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks so much.